Two former North Charleston City Council members and two other men are out on bond after pleading guilty in a federal corruption investigation. Live 5 was there as each defendant admitted to their role in three different schemes to steal money from North Charleston city government. We have live team coverage with Ann McGill, Emily Johnson, and Caitlin Ashball. They were all downtown following these proceedings, and we'll start with you.
Well, Michael, it was a well-orchestrated scenario here at U.S. District Court downtown Charleston, using one courtroom for the plea hearings and another courtroom directly next door to it for the bond hearings. Each of these four defendants took their turns in front of the same judge, admitting their guilt. Now, according to information presented in court today by the U.S. attorneys, it seemed very much like North Charleston was a pay-for-play government if you knew the right people to ask. Former North Charleston City Council members Jerome Hayward and Sandino Moses, along with lobbyist Aaron Hicks and nonprofit founder Donovan Moten, all pleaded guilty today. Some accepted or paid kickbacks for helping two nonprofits receive grants from the city. Jerome Hayward offered himself up as a consultant for a company wanting to do business with the city for a $10,000 upfront fee and $7,500 a month to influence others. And then there was the attempt to rezone a part of the old Baker Hospital site for a boat manufacturing plant. Now, former North Charleston City Council member Jerome Hayward and that nonprofit founder Donovan Moten, both charged in schemes relating to North Charleston's violence reduction grants. Emily Johnson was inside of the courtroom for us today. Cameras were not allowed. So, Emily, set the scene for us. What was it like there?
Hayward remained relaxed when pleading guilty to 14 counts, the largest amount of charges in this entire corruption investigation. Now, interestingly enough, Hayward was asked if he is mentally competent at this moment, and he said that he's actually receiving care at a behavioral health center, but the judge still deemed him competent. Now, Moten pleaded guilty to 5 counts, and the judge, Richard Gergel, asked him if he ever expected himself to be in this situation, and Moten responded saying no. Now, this started all the way back in 2020 when the city of North Charleston began discussing distributing funds to nonprofits in an effort to reduce violent crime. Court documents say two nonprofits specifically told Hayward that they would give him kickbacks if they were awarded the grant. One of those nonprofits was Core for Success, Moten's nonprofit. In exchange for support, Moten agreed to pay Hayward 20% of any monies Core for Success received from North Charleston. Hayward received $20,000 from Moten for his vote. The DOJ attorney also shared that those two were close friends. All of those involved in this alleged conspiracy are charged with bribery and theft with respect to programs receiving federal funds, wire fraud, and money laundering. Hayward's attorney, Andy Savage, says he suspects there are other entities involved in corruption other than the city of North Charleston.
Because he is guilty. It's awful what he did. He knows that. And he's not the only one. And as I say, the people that you see here today are probably not the only ones that are involved, but it's pretty extensive. I mean, it's a real shame on North Charleston.
Part of Hayward's agreement with the government was to continue to provide truthful knowledge and information to the FBI, as we do not know if their investigation is completely over. Back to you, Ann.
All right, Emily, thank you very much. Now, Caitlin Ashbaugh was in the courtroom right next to the one where Emily Johnson was seated for us. She was there where the bond hearings were being held, and that's where former City Council member Sandino Moses and lobbyist Aaron Hicks also received $50,000 bonds. Caitlin, these two men accused in similar situations, but you noticed they had very different demeanors. Explain for us.
Hi, Ann. Well, Hicks' attorney branded this as, quote, the worst day of Hicks's life. And as Hicks continued to wipe his face with a tissue, his attorney continued, saying he never expected to find himself on the wrong side of the law. Now, on the other hand, Sandino Moses walked calmly and alone into the courtroom today beside his presiding attorney, and even nodding his head to reporters before turning the four corners of law after that hearing. Both Moses and Hicks faced charges pleading guilty, Hicks to 4 charges and Moses to 1. The FBI alleges both were involved in a corruption investigation, which involved the rezoning of Baker Hospital, a former industrial site and now brownfield in North Charleston. Court documents say Moses made a motion to delay the rezoning of the historic site and was told the project would help churches in downtown Charleston. Moses asked for more information, then realized he was being bribed and returned the $450 given to him. Hicks, 37 years old, was identified as a lobbyist accused of conspiring to solicit kickbacks in exchange for their influence on the critical rezoning vote. Court docs show Hicks paid a total of $3,500 between two council members just days before they were set to vote.
We hope that the citizens of North Charleston can put their trust in the FBI and SLED and the U.S. Attorney's Office, that we will pursue and continue to pursue corruption charges against individuals who are responsible.
Well, the DOJ tells us that they have not set a sentencing date yet for this case, and they added that this is an important step to, quote, undoing the longstanding practice of doing business in North Charleston. And
all right, thank you very much, Caitlin. Now, Judge Gergel has not yet set a date for the sentencing for these four defendants. That will come at a later time for us. And as for the other four accused in this corruption scheme, well, they will all be arraigned right here in U.S. District Court coming up on March 11. For Emily Johnson and Caitlin Ashbaugh, I'm Ann McGill, outside of U.S. District Court, downtown Charleston, Live 5 News.